Hi, this is Shui with a review of the Converse Weapon CX. The CX foam is used in the insole it's been used as the midsole for certain Converse Chuck Taylor All Stars. The Chucks, they had a insole and a midsole that's made with CX foam as well, but you don't really feel it. It's just slightly more cushier, slightly more softer than ordinary Converse Chuck Taylor Chucks. But this one, the weapon, is a nice little protro of the traditional weapon, which was worn by Larry Bird and Magic Johnson during their heydays. And you get a bunch of All-Stars advertising them together as if they all share the same signature shoe. Isaiah Thomas, Mark Aguirre, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Kevin McHale. They were singing, and then Bernard King, maybe. I'm not really too sure. I'll have to go back and check it again. So weapon, this has been a pretty steady staple of the NBA for a good reason. The Y bar is set to provide a good lockdown, and it does. It doesn't have a firm heel counter or heel cup, but this tiny little simple contraption actually provides a good grip and lock support for your ankle. So much so that if you lace it up too hard, you might actually feel sort of a pinching sensation. The foam that's used, it's really soft. It's even without the CX foam, you feel this is sort of like a soft, react, bounced kind of foam. It's really soft and nice. The forefoot is, of course, slightly thinner than the heel, so there's a decent heel to toe drop. But at the same time, the heel is significantly plusher than the forefoot. Forefoot feels a little bit low to the ground and not as plush as the heel. But it's not a heel that sinks, and it provides a good offset, which is healthier for your foot. And yeah, the tongue is just canvas, but it's minimal but it's plush and nice. The lace loops are there all the way, getting the job done. The toe box area is not crazy spacious like some basketball shoes these days have. The outsole pattern is pretty incredible. The outsole is actually decoupled in a lot of ways to provide that freedom of movement, and it enhances the cushioning and the smooth stride, provides you a smoother stride as well as you move along. And it has a little pivot point. The traction patterns are pretty deep, and it's actually really good. Better than some of the crappy basketball shoe patterns that we've been getting recently. This is actually really good. I tried it on a dusty court, and it provided really good grip, shockingly. And another fascinating part of this weapon CX is the outsole is expanding here in the lateral and the medial side. And this little wing, if you might call it, actually provides some anti-inversion locking or prevention braking mechanism, just like what we've seen in the KD14s. So this was really pleasantly surprising. The downside is that in terms of fit, is that this little mud guard is pretty rigid. It's kind of plasticky and rubbery, hard TPU. So if this shape does not fit your foot the moment you put them out of the box, it's not going to change or form to your foot. So make sure you go up a few sizes. If it doesn't, it kind of tightens or chafes, because I went true to size and I found my pinky getting a bit pink if I wore this for like a couple of hours, actually played a game in them. So yeah, make sure you try it on. For really narrow footers, you might even be able to go true to size, but for most people, I would say at least go up half a size because of this, narrow plastic. Yeah, and it was very surprisingly good. The insole, the CX insole, this is actually quite magical because it's sort of like a PU insole that you've seen in the 90s or 2000 Adidas models where the cushioning is crap, but the insole actually tries to provide a bit of a stepping comfort and shock absorption at the same time. But the PU insoles you found in the Adidas models, they're pretty heavy. And I tried comparing this to that, and it weighs about 10 grams less than that. So shockingly, it's fluffier and lighter. I mean, it feels almost identical to the PU insoles, maybe a little bit bouncier even. So this is a very interesting foam. I wish they would use this more on the shoe. But even without that, even without the insole, again, this feels like a bounce or a react kind of foam shoe. So it's very soft. And with this, it feels almost heavenly. I've reviewed the Vans Comfy Cush overt, and that was just way too plush. Even without the insole, it was just way too mushy, and this is a nice kind of mushy. This particular version is called the tear off or tear away, and you see this little part? Yeah, there's a lot more color inside. Yeah, so it's kind of like the Paranoise Air Force One that we released in Korea, where the shoe, as it wears off, you see a different color inside. You could scratch or make some cuts here and there, and you will see the same kind of colorful fabric inside in these parts. So that's a nice little touch. Recently released, but this was actually first released way back about a year ago, but I just didn't really pay much attention to them because I didn't think they were going to be this soft, and they were going to provide this amazing traction and this amazing anti-inversion support. I wish they could have done something to make this shoe a little bit lighter and maybe get rid of this little plastic that's, annoying. Maybe a little low-cut version would make the shoe lighter, but this is a very pleasant surprise. The price point is like around $100, but if you remember those fanciful Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star collaborations, whether it's John Barbados or the Suede winter versions, they used to cost like close to $200. So if the price point, the release price is $100, I would say that's definitely worth the money, worth the price point.